it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, Inside My Holes, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles having borderline personality disorder. I talk about my struggles having post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother who abused me, my paranoid schizophrenic father who was in and out of mental institutes all my life. I talk about my unethical psychologist who sexually abused me. I talk about all my different therapies I've had over the years and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in return of you is kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind and respectful to me and other people who comment. We don't need to agree on everything, but we do need to agree on showing each other respect and kindness. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button on the right, that little box there that says subscribe. It's 100% free, and that way you will always be notified when I do a new video. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up so I know which videos are popular and which ones flop. Now here's a $100,000 question of the day. How long does it take you to grieve? Let's talk about grief. How long does it take you to grieve someone? How long does it take you before you get over it? A year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Does it depend on whether you left or they dumped you, whether they died or they're still alive? Whether it was your parent, your child, your spouse, your lover. So you get the idea. We all grieve. So that's why I thought this was a good video, because every person on this earth grieves. Every person on this earth has suffered a loss. Unless you're maybe a month old or a 1-year-old baby, or, unless you're very, very young. If you've lived enough years, you're going to have suffered a loss. So everybody grieves. I grieve. And in the comments, some people were mentioning how they grieve their therapists. And I wanted to bring that up too, because I have a complaint out to the licensing board over my psychologist, Dr. Richard Geist. The complaint is over a year and a half ago. I made it, and it's still under investigation. He sexually abused me, psychologically abused me, played mind games with me, made me codependent on him. And I left him 3 years ago, okay? So it's been 3 years. It was in the month of August, 2021. And it's the month of August, 2024. So it's 3 years. I think about him morning, noon, and night, 24/7. Now, I'm the one who left him, and I have a board complaint out against him. And he abused me. Now, some people might think that if you were abused, whether it was your boyfriend, your parents, your husband, wife, whoever it was, your therapist, right, that you should be glad you're rid of them. And that, you shouldn't be grieving. But that's not always true. We can't control our feelings, okay? We feel what we feel, and we feel what we feel for however long we feel it. No, you can't put a watch. You can't time it. You can't say it's going to take you, 4 years and 5 days. So far it's been 3 years and I'm not anywhere near over it. Oh, did you just see a bird that go through there? Did you hear that? A bird just flew. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm distracted. I love nature. This is why I do these outdoor videos. Never mind about that. I got distracted. So it's been 3 years, and this psychologist played terrible mind games with me. I'm not going to go into the abuse, okay, because I have so many videos about it that this is not the point of this video. I don't want to take away from this video. This video is all about grieving. And even though I'm the one who ended the relationship, I'm the one that brought him to the board, I'm the one that, I just ghosted him, I just left, I didn't say goodbye, and this was after 16 years. There's good reasons for that, but you can watch the other videos. But I'm still grieving terribly, terribly over that. Like I go to bed with it. I'm up at night having insomnia over it. I have panic attacks over it. I still drink alcohol every day. I wake up in the morning thinking about him. I think about him throughout the day. I go to bed at night with him on my mind. When I can't sleep, he's on my mind. It's kind of like 24/7. And so how long is this going to last? I often ask myself, how long, what am I missing? He only hurt me. So what am I missing? And I don't think it has anything to do with that. Even if you were in a bad relationship and someone abused you, you can still grieve them. I thought I was lucky. I never grieved. I hated my mother. There's another video why I'm glad my mother died. And I never grieved her death because I was happy. I actually celebrated. I was very happy when she died. So I thought I was lucky in that respect that my mother died. Other people, but I know other people who were abused and beaten by their mothers, and they grieve them. They love them fiercely. I hated my mother, and they grieved them fiercely. I see it on Facebook all the time. Like it's been 10 years since her mother died, and they'll say, "Happy 89th birthday in heaven, Mom. I love you and I miss you." I see this all the time. So, how long does it take for you to grieve someone? And the answer is however long it takes, because no one can answer that, not even you. You can't even answer that for yourself. I've asked myself, how long am I going to sit here and grieve over my therapist that I had for 16 years who abused me? And it's been 3 years so far, and I'm not even anywhere close to over him. Even though I haven't seen him, talked to him, written to him, spoke to him, no contact, nada. In 3 years, 0 contact. It's like it happened yesterday. I'm still grieving as deeply. It hasn't lessened up. That's what I'm trying to say. It hasn't lessened up. And I don't know if it ever will, if or when it ever will, or if it just becomes, instead of, this is what I think it is, at least for me, that I don't stop grieving, I just learn to live with the grief, okay? So if you lost someone you truly loved, for one thing, congratulate yourself that you really loved this person, because, I just think it demonstrates how deep and intense your love was, even if they did abuse you. For you to keep grieving and grieving that person, even though you're no longer with them, even though you admitted this person is harmful, I need to get away from this person because this person is harming me. And you got away from the abuse. You got away from them and you blocked them, which I did. Blocked the emails, blocked the phone calls, the phone number, and don't speak to him. Even though you've already did that. And you should be proud, that you did that. I'm proud that I did that because he was hurting me. But I'm still grieving. And I guess the answer is I'm going to always grieve him because he has a big piece of my heart. And I don't give my heart away to just anybody. I don't. I have not loved many people. I could probably count them on my hand, and you can guess that my husband and my 2 sons, that's 3. And I said I could count them on one hand, the people I loved, truly loved in my life. So it just shows the capacity and the intensity and the depth of your love. But I think it's not, the question is, how long do you grieve over someone? That's not the right, appropriate question. It's how do you live with the grief of someone? Okay? So I think I've accepted the fact that I'm probably always going to grieve my therapist, even though he hurt me, even though the best thing for me to do was leave him. And I'm going to always grieve him, but how do I learn to live with that grief? That's the appropriate question. And, well, I'm doing it. It's not like a magical answer. It's not like a math formula or a scientific formula I can give to you and say, here you go. Just follow the directions right there and you're going to be good to go. No, it isn't like that. I'm doing it. And, I get up in the morning and I do the same routine every day. Having a routine helps me. I don't know about you and your grief, but I have a routine. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, very early. I write. I'm a writer. I have published poems in magazines. I have published books on Amazon. I got the links below there. I do a video practically every single day. I do a video, and then I market myself. I market my books. I market my videos. I put them all over the social medias. And marketing is a lot of work. It is. It isn't just like posting this video on YouTube and that's it, I heavily market it, and like all over the place, and it takes a lot of marketing to get people, to know that it's there. And then I exercise every day. I lift weights for my arms. When you're old, look at that. If I didn't exercise, this would be even worse, that flab, because I'm almost 60. And I do crunches for my stomach. Otherwise, I'd have this big pot belly. I have to work harder the older I get to keep my body in shape. Otherwise, if I don't work it, I'll lose it. Use it or lose it is the motto when you get older, okay? Use it or lose it. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be 60 next year. That's 100% true. So I do that. And then I love to be out in nature. Nature helps me. And I'm very close with my husband and my sons. They're a very big part of my life. So this is how, I live my day out. And I just continue and continue and continue. And hopefully it'll get easier. It hasn't gotten easier yet in 3 years. It hasn't. And sometimes, I don't know, like when my son got traumatic brain injury, and he's still alive though. He's not dead, but he's an invalid. So I have to continually grieve the loss of a healthy child. He's a very sick adult. So I have to grieve. There's different kinds of grieving. You can even grieve someone my therapist is alive. He's 81 years old, but he's still alive. And he's still working, charging $300 an hour at 81, but he's still alive. So it isn't necessarily the person has to die. Look at divorces, breakups. It's not just death that people, grieve someone over. You only grieve someone when they die. You very much can grieve someone when they're alive. My father died, and I always think of him. He was 71 years old. That's not that old to die. And he had a lot of problems when he was alive too. I grieve the fact that I never had a mentally healthy father, and I don't have a mentally healthy son. Well, my son Austin my second born son is mentally healthy, but Alex isn't. He has traumatic brain injury, which makes him on the level of a 2-year-old, so he's not mentally healthy at all. My father wasn't mentally healthy. He had schizophrenia. So I have to grieve, I had to grieve, and also my father abandoned me. He walked out on me when I was like a little baby for years. So there's a lot of grief that I'm still not over. Why do you think therapists make all this money? Because people aren't over the trauma, okay? That's why therapists, they'd be out of a job. There wouldn't be a job for them if people could deal with this stuff, on their own. That's why people go to therapy, because they're obviously working on their issues. They're working on their trauma. They're working on their grieving. They're still grieving, and they're trying to, come to terms with it. It's a process, okay? It's a lifelong journey. Grieving to me is a lifelong journey. It's just learning, how to grieve in a way that's healthy for you. Like, of course, my drinking, that is not a healthy way for me to grieve, and I'm still drinking every day. I try to limit it to 2 glasses of wine, but sometimes when things happen, that sometimes things come along, and I drink more. And I didn't even start drinking until my late 40s. I never had a drinking problem before my late 40s. That's what therapy did to me. But yeah, that's an unhealthy coping mechanism of trauma. Drug use, drinking, eating problems, eating disorders. This is all from trauma. So, I want to thank a lot of you people have really come forward and have told me really intimate things, and I'm so appreciate that. And any way that I could help, I really feel good about myself, that I can help someone, that these videos help people. So let's talk about healthier coping mechanisms for us to grieve. Let's not expect that grief is going to go away. It might be continual. Don't listen to insensitive people who say, oh, get over it, or it'll take time. Time heals all wounds. I don't believe that cliche, okay? I think that's bogus. Time does not heal all wounds. It might heal some wounds, but it doesn't heal all wounds, okay? And it hasn't healed mine. The best thing I can do for it is find healthy ways to live with the grief. I found unhealthy ways like drinking to live with the grief, but that's unhealthy. the best thing to do is try to find healthy ways to live with your grief. And these videos are a healthy way of living with it. In my writing, I've written books and expressed my grief in my books. That's another healthy way. Writing poetry is another healthy way. Maybe you're an artist, you paint. You paint all your feelings. I knew an artist who did drawing, and she was a bartender at Bertucci's. They used to go there like twice a week, and we used to start talking, and she was an artist too. And she did a lot of sketching and drawings. She has a blog or something, and she's also sells her artwork too. And she did a lot around her sister's death. She had a sister that died, and she took all that turmoil and she put it into her pictures, into her sketching, and they're really, wild and really, exotic pictures and she sells them, and they're really awesome. I love artists, and that's a really healthy way to deal with your grieving. So if, maybe exercise, maybe running, or, walking out, being out in nature. There's a lot of healthy ways. So let's talk about it. If you're still grieving, if you have healthy ways of coping with it, even if you have unhealthy ways, just let me know what you're going through, and let's have a continuing dialogue about it, because grief is something that everyone faces in their lifetime. Okay, till next time.